ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's now offers coffee subscriptions. You can order a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. You can choose from 3 collections: the Flavored Coffee Collection, the Roastmasters Collection, or the Disney Signature Coffee Collection. Each collection includes 3 bags per month. With the Joffrey's Coffee subscriptions, never run out of great coffee again. Learn more and order at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. Today we have a show that has been a long time coming. Joining me on the show is Emily Hansa Hicks. You know her from the DVC Roundtable. Hi, Emily.
Well, hello there. Thanks for having me today.
My pleasure. And her wonderful, and we're assuming patient husband, Matt Hicks.
Hi, Tim.
How are we all doing today?
It's cold and snowy in Cleveland.
Yes, I'm south of Cleveland just by about an hour, and it is cold here as well. We're going back. We had a request for a show. This is from July of 2019 from Amy B., who sent me an email. It was, "Hi, can you please finish the World Showcase edition of Rewind, Remove, a Refurb? I'm dying to hear the West Side version." She said, "Thank you and love the show." Thank you very much, Amy. Guys, do you remember recording this show with me?
Oh my gosh. Of course. This is how the ball got rolling, right?
This
Resort
is
Loop.
It is up there. It was episode 153.
Wow.
We are now in the 780s. 780s.
Oh my goodness.
The show went up October of 2014.
That's like my Tesla stock price.
I went back and I listened to the show, and you guys were talking about how you had 3 kids under the age of 3.
No longer. We lost. No, I'm just kidding. We have, we have 3 kids under the age of 9. So that's, progress, right?
How crazy is it? And you guys were relatively new DVC members.
Oh, how funny.
So it was like a little
revisit this.
Yes, it was like a little history lesson. It was fantastic.
How fun.
Maybe I'll put it out before this show just so everybody can catch up rather than trying to find the show. I'll just post it again. How about that?
I love it. A twofer.
A twofer, exactly.
I'm really excited that somebody actually wanted to hear the sequel.
I know, and I feel bad.
By popular demand.
It was, and it was from 2019, so this was like a year and a half ago. She sent the request.
Better late than never.
It's one of those things where you're just driving and all of a sudden something kind of hits you and they're like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. So, and we're going to make it happen. We're going to play the old game, Remove, Rewind, or Refurb. To remind everybody how the game goes, we're going to cruise around, in this instance, World Showcase West. We're going to talk about the countries, and Emily and Matt have to choose separately, not collectively, whether they will remove the country altogether, rewind it to a previous incarnation if one was available, or refresh it by changing it, plussing it, or totally doing something new, but they got to tell us what they want to do. Are you guys ready for the challenge? And I, as the judge, will decide if you're right or wrong.
I really feel like I should have done some research.
Nah, research is overrated, plus it's not as fun.
True.
All right, so guys, join me as we start strolling through Future World, and we're going to turn right. And there's the lovely country of Canada. We're just kind of walking by the sign there in the entranceway to go to Le Cellier, and that's where I pose the question to you guys. Do you remove, rewind, or refurb? Emily, ladies first.
Oh man, I feel very strongly about Canada. It's one of my favorite places to go, but there honestly isn't a lot to do in Epcot, Canada, other than look at the beautiful scenery, eat the delicious food, drink the amazing beer, and shop, of course, for all of the pajamas with the bears on them and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then I remember once long ago, I got a Roots pair of ski pants there. Anyway, long story short is it needs some more things to do. So I think we're going to call this one I think that's a refurb, right? Because I want to change it.
Yes.
I want to add some things. I think Canada is a pretty amazing country as our neighbor to the north, and one of my first actual destinations as a kid to go visit.
Ooh.
Because of proximity, obviously, to Ohio. Just takes me about 2.5 hours to get there if I go west. So I'm going to say it needs something more like action-y. There's so much going on in Canada. So yeah, I think it needs a ride. I think I'm going to put in some kind of, man, everybody associates Canada with snow and everything, but they actually have like a big cowboy kind of situation going on, lots of cattle. And then you have, of course, the First Nations that are just fascinating. Oh man. So I mean, I think it's got to be a ride. Maybe it's like a cool canoe ride if we want to go kind of old school. Because one of the nice things about the Canada is that it appeals to sort of like that lodgy feeling, that cozy, rustic. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put in some kind of canoe ride, and it's gonna be sort of either like the Algonquin area, like sort of an eastern, northern, or it's gonna be Pacific Northwest, like British Columbia. And it's gonna have that kind of spirit going on with a lot of animal kind of stuff. And you could even theme it like Pocahontas, although I wouldn't really want to go all the way there because that's kind of an American story, but you could definitely harness some of those characters, say like Pocahontas's Northern Adventure. I don't know. Now I'm making up movies too. I'll stop. Anyway, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, interesting. Matt, what would you do?
I'm going off the rails on the first one.
I love it.
I think it's a split. So the first thing I would say is refurb, mainly because I think they've had the Martin Short movie, Canada by Martin Short. His picture is he's so young in the picture that they advertise it with. So I think they need something new to take its place. I don't know if it has to be a ride, but it could be something like the motion simulators maybe. I guess that would be a ride in Disney World. So I would definitely refurb that and give it something a little more exciting. And then I would rewind the stage because they have that stage there. And way back when we first did episode 153, they used to have a band that played there. And Emily can probably remember its name, but I don't. But they were pretty good. They were like a rock band. And I think they've struggled since that band went away. They have struggled to put something on that stage that was worth watching since, in my opinion. But no offense to anybody there. But I just there hasn't been anything that's drawn my attention back to that stage since that band that was there when we first started going. So that's what I would rewind.
Matt, I love that. You went a little retro on us. So Matt, I got to tell you, to be honest. Oh, I'm sorry, that was for Emily. Matt, you are the winner. Emily, I'm sorry to say, we're the loser because I just don't want to deal with getting in another boat ride. We have a boat ride in Mexico.
That's a good point. You make a good point.
But I did actually like it. It was very well thought out, albeit wrong. Once again, the game is cruel. We learned this a long time ago.
Of course.
Oh, that's Matt 1, Emily 0. Once again, this is an exhibition, not a competition. Please, no wagering. All right, so we're leaving Canada. We're cruising on by the World Showplace Events Pavilion. We're not going to stop there. That's way back in the back there a little bit, not out of the way. But now we're to the United Kingdom. Home of the Rose and Crown Dining Pub. Home of the Yorkshire Fish Company, I do believe what it's called. We're going to start with Emily. Ladies first again. Remove, rewind, or refurb, Emily?
Oh, man.
This is a tough one.
Let's see. Yeah. So, wait. Cast the stage again for me again. Why am I not remembering this area?
United Kingdom. They got the Rose and Crown Pub there.
United Kingdom. I have no idea I had a brain moment here. So let's see. It's got to go backwards because I'm pretty sure I I'm pretty sure this again is going to be the band. I'm pretty sure there was a Beatles cover band. Maybe there still is.
You know what? With COVID right now, I'm not sure what is actually there. But yes, assuming all is well, there is something there.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I think basically we need to go as retro as we can on the music, because I think that's just kind of fun for visitors there. But honestly, everything else about the UK pavilion is just great to me. So I wish I could rewind and accurately say that there were cool bagpipers that walk through the streets or something like that, but I think I'm making that up. So that's all I got I just love that place. I think, also a part of the rewind is to make sure that they have a very consistent contract with Innocent Gun, because my husband loves that beer so much. And also Strongbow, because he loves the Innocent Gun so much. And that is half the reason he keeps going to Disney World. So the times that they're out or they're not featuring it, that's just like a real disappointment for us all. So, yep, there you go.
Wow, Matt, is that true?
It is true, and that is she stole my answer. So that was my very short rewind. Last time we were there, which hasn't been recently, they no longer had Innocent Gun on the kiosk outside the pub there. They don't sell it inside, and they only sell it outside when they did sell it, but it wasn't there. So I assume it's still not there, but I can hope. So that would be my short rewind. I do, the bands that play in the is it the maze, the English Garden maze? Those are a lot of. It's a fun little area, and I like how all the shops there are connected. But yeah, so my only change there is a short rewind to get Innocent Gun on tap back.
Is that one of the beers you could get, like a yard of beer there, or is that something else? Was that like Guinness or something? I'm not that familiar with that.
They sell it by the pint from the tap, which is kind of rare to find because it's a Scottish beer and it's a very small brewery, but it's aged. It's aged beer. So if anybody's into that, it's they age it in different types of liquor barrels. So the original Innocent Gun is aged in Scotch barrels, I believe. And then they have other forms that are aged in rum and tequila and whiskeys and bourbons and other stuff. So, but I really like the beer. I will miss it if it's not there when we go back.
That is a great beer tip. I will say my suggestion for this area would be do something with a Mary Poppins, maybe a flying umbrella attraction of some kind.
Yes.
In a refurb. Yes. However, I would say that, and I would be wrong. You guys are actually correct. That is what we need to do. Oh, you tagged up on that one. I liked it. I liked hearing about the beer. Loved it.
You know you love your spouse when your refurb or your rewind is just to make him happy.
There you go. And they do have those beautiful gardens in the back also.
So gorgeous.
All right. So now we're leaving the United Kingdom. We're taking our stroll. We're going near the International Gateway, but not quite that way. So where the new Skyliner is. Taking our bridges across the water. And now we're to the country of France. I think this is going to be a tough one for us to kind of talk about. Because, we had the Ratatouille attraction opening soon. A whole new area in the back. But again, it's been 6 years or so. So we've got to trudge through this show. And I need to know. I'm going to start with Matt this time. Matt, we're in France. Do you remove, rewind, or refurb?
That is a tough one. It's hard to say because last time we were there, the Ratatouille ride was not open. I don't know if it is, but they were definitely building it.
I will say it's kind of unfair to me to ask.
It's huge.
Yes.
Some of the countries have more of this than others, and France is one of the ones that does, and I like it. How the UK has it as well, and I just mentioned it. I really like how they have the shops kind of interwoven together so that they feel natural, but they're still kind of all connected. So if they changed any of that with the new attraction there, I would want them to go back to that. So that would be my rewind or refurb, because it is a neat little, landscape, if you will, in terms of how France laid out in that area that they had it in.
Yes, I will say it's beautifully laid out, and it's one of the most picturesque pavilions around World Showcase. Emily, what do you have to say about France?
Oh, man.
I know. It's unfair for me to ask, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's unfair of me to ask, but I'm going to ask anyway. What do you want to do with it?
I just want to eat the croissants that they have, the ones with the escargot, all day long. But I don't really feel like they answered your question. So,
no, but you can distract me with food, so that doesn't hurt.
Right. Let's see. Okay, so I think maybe I'm going to rewind it.
Ooh, interesting.
And it's not, I mean, again, I'm not so historically versed that I can very, very accurately rewind. But I remember a long time ago that France had, and again, maybe I'm making this up. Everybody, if you know this is accurate or inaccurate, please let me know. But I remember France had sort of like a make your own perfume thing.
They may
and
have.
I could be, did I make that up? Do you remember this? Was this invented?
It sounds familiar, but I might be thinking of the shop in Liberty Square in the Magic Kingdom. They had one of those there. Maybe they might have it in France also.
Right, who knows? So anyway, I thought, and if they don't, they should have had one. I swear, though, that a long time ago when I was probably 14 or when I first went with my family, that they had some kind of place that you could buy delicious smelling potpourri type oils and things like that in little tiny jars, and you could have little combinations and things like that. And again, maybe I made this up, but assuming that this alternate history exists, I think that they could. I really love the little wine bar area, and I love that they always have herbs de Provence and beautiful, like kitchenware, Provence-inspired kitchenware, things like that. But I do think that they had more interesting shopping back a while ago, if I remember correctly, because I think now the area by the patisserie, I think that area has a lot of little like Eiffel Towers and a lot of sort of more kitschy kind of classic souvenirs. And the things I love the most are the really like authentic type souvenirs. I'd also like to rewind to a day where the staff all spoke French because, it was pre-COVID international students or international employees evacuation, because I just love that part of the thing I love about France is trying to pathetically speak my high school French to the natives. So I think I would rewind to the back in the day, those days which may or may not have existed, where they had better souvenirs.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to say, honestly, that you're both correct, because it was unfair of me to ask that question, since it's in the middle of a major refurb right now in addition.
That's true.
But we will revisit this once everything opens up and we have somebody go through there.
Love it.
Because I just, I love the fountains when you first walk up to France, going back into the shops there. Have you eaten at any of the restaurants besides the patisserie in France? Either of you like done it separately.
we have eaten there separately and together.
Oh my!
Let Matt?
Yeah, I don't remember their names though, so you're gonna have to help me out.
The Chefs de France is the downstairs, and Monsieur Paul is the upstairs.
We most recently ate at the upstairs one, right?
Yep.
It was good. No complaints. French food isn't my favorite, but it was definitely very good.
Excellent.
It was so good. We also have taken our kids down to Chefs de France, and that was really fun. They loved the baguette. And Monsieur Paul, I've also done the champagne brunch with Tara Verde, another one of our fabulous loopers out there. And when Matt and I did Monsieur Paul's, we did it like kind of on a date night. And one tip I have for that place is if you don't want to blow your vacation budget, but you do want to experience it, go early and split a bunch of the appetizers or soups or whatever. Because we actually I think we bought 3 or 4 appetizers and just had a couple glasses of wine. And yeah, we split. We had the oxtail soup. I forget what else we had. We had a bunch of delicious things, but they were just eating those, we were also planning on going around the Food and Wine Festival, so that's why we didn't want to like load up too much. And that was a really, I don't want to say it was an economical way, but it was more economical than getting 2 entrees, 2 appetizers, etc. So yeah.
And you get to sample more food. It's fantastic.
Exactly.
Excellent. So let's move our way around World Showcase. We're getting closer to the American Adventure, but we did that in the last show. Now we're up to Morocco. We remove, rewind, or refurb. Emily, you can go first.
This one is so tough because this is my probably favorite pavilion.
Interesting. Okay.
I have so many fond memories of this pavilion just because it's so exotic for a kid from Ohio.
True.
You know, the letters are different in the language. The architecture is just gorgeous and totally different than anything you see around here. You know, France, England, where, you know, we have a lot of European influenced architecture here, but not quite as much of these gorgeous like Islamic tiles and oh my gosh. So it's just really gorgeous. But I think this is, oh man, I feel like I'm betraying Morocco when I say that. I think that it would be cool if they could get something more than Restaurant Marrakesh to draw people back into those beautifully tiled rooms and those gorgeous like walkways. And so I don't know what you could put back there. You would obviously do something Aladdin themed. But I think that you do need some kind of attraction there. And since you have said no more boat rides, I'm going to say that you get a faster loading version of a Peter Pan type ride. And you do a flying carpet ride to get, especially if you could get more families back there. I think, you know, in this world where people can be, you know, really kind of, I don't want to say isolated, but people don't, you know, interact with as many cultures as they could. It would be a really cool way to get kids and families back into this area that's so exotic and different than, you know, our everyday experience. So I would say that would be what I would do, is a really cool Peter Pan's flight style aerial ride, but you're on a magic carpet and you're flying around and basically you get people back into the back part of Morocco. And I will say Marrakesh is an amazing restaurant and I love the belly dancers and I don't want them to do anything with that. But it is a very large space and it's almost never full. So I almost think they could reduce the floor size of that restaurant. But maybe I'm wrong. Again, I feel guilty. Even suggesting a change.
Interesting. Exactly. Matt, what are your thoughts on Morocco?
Morocco in Epcot is in a bit of an interesting situation right now because I think Disney just took ownership over everything.
They did.
So I think it's going to change no matter what we say. But so I would go with Rewind. I don't know if Spice Road Table was officially part of Morocco, but I really like that restaurant, and I hope it stays open. Marrakesh was good. I love the market area. So I'm a solid Rewind on this, only because I have no idea what Disney's going to do with it now that they have taken over, I guess, all of the privately owned businesses that were in there.
Right. Yeah, I know they had redone Spice Road Table, and I thought maybe they were going to redo the name, but I'm not positive. But I will say, my initial thoughts on it were that I was going to actually remove the entire pavilion. I was going to remove it. But again, I would have been wrong.
You would be wrong.
I was wrong. Emily and Bat, you both nailed it. But I think the restaurant Marrakesh needs a rebrand of some kind. I don't mind the belly dancers. I think maybe like a name change. And Emily, like you said, maybe having that attraction back there to pull more people back there to maybe see the menu. But it just needs some kind of drive or pull to get people back there. And I don't know if it's maybe needs a slight menu change. I've not eaten there for a long time myself, but I love it.
I don't think people know there's belly dancing back there either. I think that if people knew, like, I think a really cool thing about Disney is the dinner and a show concept. And I think that's one of the places that you can get dinner and a show. And I feel like that if more people knew that was like a performance place where you could actually see you were entertained while you eat, I feel like that would be Maybe they should put some dancers up at the front drawing you back. I don't know.
True. Maybe I like the idea of a dinner show. Like maybe they have like 3 seatings a night instead of having just people file in constantly and out like a normal restaurant. Like you have your 6 o'clock, your 7:30, and your 8:30 seating or something like that with a full show. I love what we're doing here, Emily.
This is amazing.
You are brilliant. You are brilliant. I see why Matt married you.
Yes.
All right, we're working our way around. This is our last country for the west side of World Showcase. We're in Japan. I think this is going to be a tough one too. Remove,
it is.
rewind, or refurb. Let's start with Matt.
So, one of the things I always liked about Japan, and I still like it at Epcot, is you immediately know you're in Japan when you walk into that area. So I think the Japan Pavilion does it better than all the others in terms of where am I? You immediately know you're there because of the architecture and because they have the drummers right out front. So you immediately know you're there. And one of the things I always really liked was it always felt like it was a secret, even though it wasn't, was all the way in the back. You could do the sake tastings. And that was always fun. And they're disappearing left and right are those little tiny hideaways that you can get a drink in Disney. They're slowly finding all the ones I used to like to go to. So they're getting harder and harder to find. And that was one of them. They refurbished that whole back area of that store and kind of opened it up so that I guess more people could get back there. But Japan is always crowded. The whole shopping area is always crowded. So as much as I like it and think they do it well, I'm kind of a remove on Japan.
Oh, he's taking it out altogether.
Oh my goodness.
A bold choice. I'm glad to hear somebody play that card. Nice. All right, Emily, what are your thoughts on the Japan Pavilion?
Oh man. So I can't believe he's going to remove it, first of all, because I don't know how he'll cope without the frozen beer.
Oh.
But I suppose I'm going to go rewind. I feel like rewind is like Pickett's stay the same almost, but not quite. But I think that the revamped sake bar is not as good as the original, which was more hidden away. Their merchandise there, again, is really awesome. That's a store that's not owned by Disney, so you get unique stuff in there. But I do feel like they used to have more sort of authentic stuff. They had more pottery and they had more origami paper. They still have that stuff, but they just don't have as much of it. There's a lot of, my kids would hate to hear me say this is not great, but there's a lot more Pokemon and that kind of the anime stuff, which is fine, and I know that a lot of people love that, but it doesn't really do much for me, all the Pokemon merchandise. So I kind of wish that the sort of department store experience was a little bit less child oriented. Come on, guys. Fit Epcot to the adult model. So, right. And then I also think that I can't remember if they ever had a bathroom on a lower level or if I just don't know where it is, but they definitely need to make that more accessible. So, because right now I think you have to kind of walk up to that sushi restaurant up at the top. But yeah, I can't think of much to rewind about it except for the store. I don't like them changing that store much, but that's all I got for Japan. It's great. It's one of my favorite places to shop.
Excellent. All right. The ruling is, Matt, if I can't get rid of Morocco, you can get rid of Japan is basically the rule with that one.
Yes, I win both of those.
So then Emily was the winner of what's happening with Japan. And guys, that concludes Remove, Rewind, or Refurb for the west side of World Showcase.
I can't believe we made it around. I mean, you can tell we're a little tipsy.
It was a 6-year trip. 6-year trip in the making, but we made it.
Right. And along the way, I stopped in France to get a Grand Marnier orange slushy, and we both had some sake. I feel like our Epcot experience is definitely defined by the the various refreshment ports. But,
Which is why you stay at the boardwalk, we learned recently on the show.
right, exactly. Got to be able to walk or stumble.
But now with the Skyliner, it takes the Riviera is pretty much an Epcot resort.
Oh, I'm hearing Matt wants to buy some points at Riviera.
No.
Oh my gosh. We don't want to buy the points, but we don't mind staying there.
I can understand that. Oh,
Well, thank you for having us on to do this completion episode. That it feels like there was something, gaping open in our souls, and now we can sleep at night.
there was a void in our lives that has now been fulfilled. Yes. Emily, Matt, thank you very much for joining me. I love it.
Thank you for having us.
Emily and Matt, if anybody wants to talk to you, where can they find you?
I am at Emily Jean on Facebook at Reachburg Nation Live, and I am on Twitter but not active. First comes the WDW. I think that's my Twitter handle anymore. Again, not active. Of course, the Rocketeers, Resort Loop Rocketeers, and I am corralling our 3 children with my lovely husband, who will tell you all about himself there.
Matt, where can somebody find you?
I am a social media ghost. You can find me through my wife.
There you go. Fantastic. And I'm Tim Scott. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the website, ResortLoop.com. Everybody go out there and share the gateway to the magic. Take us out.
See everybody.
Bye.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.